Good afternoon, Fantasy Bay. Mike Williams here with another Week 11 game preview. And today we're going to be going over the Vikings versus Broncos. Let's get it started. So the over-under for this game is 40 points. The spread is -10 for the Vikings. And the implied point total for the Vikings is 25. And the implied point total for the Broncos is 15. That basically means they think the Vikings are going to kick the Broncos' butt, essentially. And I don't disagree. All right, we're going to start with the Vikings because they have more relevant players. Kirk Cousins, I actually really like Kirk Cousins, but I do not like him in this game. Going against Denver. Denver has been fantastic against the quarterback, only allowing 11.7 points. That's the second worst that's the second best against the quarterback in the league. I believe in his talent. I really like him, but Adam Thielen being out, Stephon Diggs not getting targeted enough, them trying to run the ball. I'm really worried about Kirk Cousins, and I'm going to bring you behind the curtain a little bit. I have Kirk Cousins in a couple leagues, and I'm looking for other options. I'm not proud to say it because I really like Kirk Cousins, and he's been playing great, but you got to look at the matchups. You gotta watch the matchups. And matchups say this is a terrible choice to play him. I need to win this week. I mean, seriously, I'm bringing you really behind the curtains. I really need to win this week. And do I go with somebody that I think is talented that could do well, or do I pick up Derek Carr off the waiver wire, or a Kyle Allen that I know is going to be safe? These are questions that managers out there are asking, and I'm saying I'm trying to pivot if I can. If there's a solid pivot out there, I'm probably going to take it. But at this time of year, things get tight. Like who are you going to want to drop? You don't know. You have such a good lineup. I have multiple running backs that I want to keep, but are you going to play all of them? So at some point, you just need to either trade the players away or make the investment. But making a spot for a second quarterback is not the easiest thing in the world, so I understand. Anyways, so long story short, not trying to start Kirk Cousins if I don't have to. Let's go to Adam Thielen. I believe is going to be out. That's unfortunate. You would think that would increase Stephon Diggs' play, but in the last 2 weeks with Adam Thielen out, 2.7 points. Man, it's absolutely awful. And Stephon Diggs is going to get shadowed by Harris, and I am not a big fan of that. I'm actually trying to pivot off of Stephon Diggs as well. If you have another option, I'm playing them. I'm also trying to trade Diggs away. Vet move. Trade Diggs to your next week's opponent. Because, A, you get a player right now, which is helpful, and this is a terrible matchup. B, you're giving a bye week to your opponent. And C, you play him next week. So now you're going to play him. He's going to want to play the guy you just gave him, but whoopsie. And how many people actually look at who they're playing next week? He's not going to look at that. So just trade it to him, and then you'll have yourself a sneaky spy on the inside. All right, next, Dalvin Cook. Everybody's playing Dalvin Cook. He's an absolute monster. I don't really need to say too much about him. He is a beast. Alexander Madison, I think that he's one of the most valuable handcuffs in fantasy football. And on top of that, he's very talented. So if they give him run, I think that he does work with it. 8 carries for 52 yards for a backup. That's very solid. Kyle Rudolph, my man, bro, come on now. How you going to come through and take all the touchdowns? You got to have all the touchdowns? Diggs can't get one? Nah, you got to take all of them. That's messed up, man. Kyle Rudolph came through playing like a beast. That's what I'm talking about. See that one-handed catch he did falling out of bounds? His big behind looked great. Toe tapping and everything. Kyle Rudolph, I think, is a fine play with Adam Thielen out. When Adam Thielen's not in there, I think that Kyle Rudolph is going to be solid because he's a reliable tight end he's a reliable tight end to Kirk Cousins, not to fantasy, but to Kirk Cousins, he can catch, and he proved that he can catch very well. So I have him as a top 12 play this week. And I think that you can play the Vikings defense, of course. Now let's go over to the Broncos, who at the moment has a quarterback that is rookie. I'm not trying to play the quarterback, obviously, so I'm going to skip right on over that. I don't think that he's going to play very well going against the Vikings. I actually think that they're going to eat him alive because that's what they do. Vikings are very good on defense to players that aren't good. Good teams playing against the Vikings, like for example, last week Dallas played really well against the Vikings, but they're a very talented team. Good defenses take advantage of bad matchups, and this is a bad matchup. The Broncos aren't ready. They're about to get taken down, and I think that hurts the quarterback here. I think that Courtland Sutton is going to have some issues, but the receiving core for this team is basically just Courtland Sutton at this point. I'm not looking at anybody else. So Sutton, I think, has a decent game against the Vikings because road's not necessarily closed. So I don't think that he has a blow-up game, but I do think he can get you like 16 points. Not looking at the other wide receivers, but now when it comes to running backs, Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman going against the Vikings were fourth against the running back, only allowing 14.2 points a game. Yikes. So I actually am not a big fan of playing Phillip Lindsay or Royce Freeman this week. I actually am in a situation currently where I have to play one or both of them, which is extremely unfortunate. I'm actually currently trying to pivot right now. Guess take you behind the curtain again. Just picked up McLaurin. I'm going to play him over Royce Freeman in the flex spot. I think that they're both risky plays, and I don't expect much upside for them. The Vikings just locked down Zeke. Zeke's one of the most talented running backs I've seen in the last 10 years. They just locked him down. He had like 47 yards off of like 19 carries. It was crazy. Getting to the tight end, I'm not playing Noah Fant. And I'm definitely not playing the Broncos defense. So I think that's going to do it, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the social media down below. And if you have any questions, hit me up. Fantasy Bay, I'm out. Peace.